From the News Channel 5 Network and Out and About newspaper, this is Out and About Today. Sponsored by the Tennessee Performing Arts Center.
Welcome to Out and About Today. I'm Brent Meredith. We have another great show for you tonight. Pam Wheeler gets an exclusive interview with Nancy Van Reese, the first out lesbian elected to a legislative body in the state of Tennessee. And Chuck Long gets us in the holiday spirit with a look at Nashville in Harmony's upcoming Yuletide concert in the Entertainment Outlook. But we begin tonight with our trending topics discussion in the Buzz About. Joining me as usual are Pam and Chuck, and we wrangled Nancy into coming out with us today.
Yay! The Honorable Nancy Van Reese.
She's yeah. Did you hear that? Always got a debate.
Yes,
Congratulations.
We're so glad you're here.
Thank you very much.
Well, so let's just hop right into it. We've got a few topics, and I want to make sure we get all everyone's opinion. First one: Tennessee Church breaks ties with the Boy Scout troop over LGBT acceptance. I don't think anybody's surprised by this, but it says here, after a partnership of more than 50 years with its local Boy Scout troop, the North Boulevard Church of Christ in Murfreesboro has decided to break ties. They have a quote basically saying that it's not in line with Scripture and church teaching. Not really a surprise here, but I'm curious, what do you guys think the perception is for maybe those troop members or sort of younger members of the church that may have friends that, like, what are the implications of this outside of them just saying, we're not going to support this anymore? Pam, I think
Well, I just wanted to say, I'm outraged at this. You know? Goodbye, troop. Goodbye. We don't need you. That's my best Donald Trump.
Yeah.
No, I'm being insensitive. You bring up the boys. When they leave, what do they think?
Right.
My guess is their support system is encouraging this, and they're glad to leave. That's That's what I think. Which makes me outraged, really, but I bet that's the truth.
Okay. Chuck?
Well, and I also think that one good sign is that this is one of very, very few churches who have done this, you know, because the growing number is supporting, continues to support, which I think that's great.
Yeah. Right, and I agree. And Nancy, do you have any thoughts on this one?
No.
Well, we're never talking about the Girl Scouts on this show.
Well, that's the thing is that the Girl Scouts, particularly as some of the women that I've talked to here in Nashville, the overwhelming influence that the Girl Scouts have made to women in leadership in Nashville is just amazing. So I think that it's one of those times where we can concentrate on the positive.
Yeah.
And I think that supporting the Nashville Girl Scouts is the way to respond.
I think that's a great
we need you back on more often.
It really just kind of struck me because I think I kind of err toward what Pam is saying. Like, they'll find somebody who is supportive and they'll be okay.
Yeah. Right. Goodbye.
And ultimately, they just don't have to deal with them anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, next topic. So this is kind of more fun. I'm sure we've all seen this by now, but the new Campbell's Soup ad, which just came out last month with the two gay dads. Of course, there's a Star Wars reference, so I was very excited about that. But we're going to take a quick look, and then we're going to discuss it.
Okay.
Dun 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 dun. Cooper, I am your father.
No, no, no. I am your father.
That's got to be the worst Vader ever.
Campbell's Star Wars Soups.
How about you be Chewbacca?
Made for real life.
Okay, so guys, obviously just kind of a cute commercial. What initial thoughts, though, before we get into the real
It's
discussion?
brilliant. I love it. I've never seen it. I've never
Oh, this
seen
your
it.
first time?
Yeah, I watched it cold right there.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love the fact that they were just so clever with it, because you see what you're thinking, the father and the son, and you're thinking the mom is probably somewhere over there, and then all of a sudden you see the dad. I love that. Very clever.
It's good.
Yeah, that's the best.
Well, what's interesting to me is, like, so the commercial ran, right, and then it was posted online, and there was, of course, the onslaught of comments. And so one of the comments that was posted, and let me back up before I forget. So Mike Mellegard, who is the guy who'd recently been sort of the anti-troll, there's the post we're going to talk about, had been kind of going along behind these people that were making these comments and commenting as though he was a customer service representative from the Campbell's Kitchen to try to get them to understand the sort of craziness of their responses. So there's this one here says, "I will no longer buy Campbell's Soup. Two people of the same sex featured with a young boy in your ad is not my idea of a family and goes against my Christian beliefs. I hope others will follow." To his response, which is, "We at Campbell's Kitchen feel we best express our opinion in this fashion. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man." Basically, you're a woman and your opinion means nothing. So he's trying to use humor to come back at them, but I mean, as we often see on anything that we talk about, the comments are really what can be the most biting and the most hurtful, and they're generated by the people who seem to be opposing the hate. So what is the irony there?
I don't know what irony means.
You live it, Pam.
As usual, though, I think it's the funny things that people try to quote from the Bible because, again, you can argue anything.
You can argue
with those
any
quotes
point.
from the
You
Bible.
can, and I love what did you call it? The troll.
The anti-troll.
Anti-troll, because we need that everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing that concerns me the most, because I work in online communications. Is anytime someone seizes into a brand to speak on behalf of them is always an issue because it's not always positive.
Right.
It's not always a
That's
positive
true.
outcome. So I'm concerned that becomes a desire for people to try to. I would much rather actually the same sort of comments come from people who support the ad. So one way, again, to create positive action is that if you see something like that on a brand that you love and respect, is to go ahead and publicly say the types of things that they're saying.
Real quick, we've only got about a minute left. I don't mean to cut you off, but I know we wanted to get to this
Social
topic.
media.
Speaking about Facebook, Americans are coming out in record numbers on Facebook. Chuck recently posted this to our Facebook page. We've got a graph here that shows the United States, and the sort of darker purple to green shows the numbers of people in those areas that have either designated themselves as in same-sex relationships, interested in same-sex, or gender, or of a different gender. What do you think this says? Why are people coming out on Facebook? Nancy, I'll go to you first since this is your area.
Oh, sure. Well, I think it's interesting to make note of that particular map, is that you have Facebook indicating who has publicly identified.
Yeah.
Most of those categories are single.
Yeah.
And it would be interesting to look at that map again along with where marriage equality exists, because I have a theory that a lot of the states where you can get married actually are showing lower numbers, because if you indicate on Facebook that you're in a married status, you would not be part of that map. So I think that's something to kind of keep in mind.
It's a fair point. And we've only got just a few seconds left. Pam, you're itching to say something?
Well, it's just now really easy. In the old days, I had to take people to lunch to come out. Now I just say I'm gay, and all my friends know. I have 1,000 friends.
It's a fair point.
And the nice thing is more support, too.
Yeah,
Which is really great.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's overall positive, I would imagine. Yeah, thank you guys so much for your comments. I'm sorry we had to rush so quickly, but we'll be right back with more from Pam and Nancy after the break. Stay with us.